Welcome back to Girl on the Gov, the podcast,
where we're shooting the shit with elected officials and candidates running for office to get to know the person beyond the politics.
Because politicians needed a rebrand.
All right, guys, the most important question of all time. Where were you when you found out that Joe Biden had dropped out of the race? Maddie,
I can tell you mine. I have a good one. One. I was at my 90-plus person family reunion.
Conservative uncles included.
You know, actually, this is my side of the family that's really not conservative or openly conservative. I have a couple who are like fiscally conservative, but like not the MAGA folks. That's my mom's side. Sorry to call it my mom. No, I was literally winning my family pickleball tournament. I was the champion. And when I tell you that, like, I have legitimate professional pickleball players in my family, like, they're so good. And I ended up winning with like my little cousin who he's like 12 or 13.
Stop it.
And we won the whole thing. And I was like, stop. And then I come off the court, I check my phone, and I get the news. And, you know, I was anticipating it to come out on Sunday. So it wasn't like a full, like, whoa, slap in the face, just got hit by a truck feeling. But
yeah,
that's where I was. I'll never forget it.
Well, first of all, Mazel on the win. We fucking love that. That goes to our entire montage of points of that pickleball is for all ages and all situations. We also just have a champion in our midst. And so everyone please sign to Maddie's DMs, give her a little claps, maybe a little, those trophy emojis. We'll know you will listen to the episode, and that's important. That's important. I will say this because I know I also, where was I, right? I was in Malibu, okay? And I was just trying to be a little Malibu mom sans kids, right? So trying to be better about also, like, not being on my phone so much because, like, what we do can, like, literally just be a suck to the face of, like, phone time.
Soul.
Right? Like, exactly. To a T. So I actually had my phone turned over, right? And for once in my life, I turn it, and I don't even remember what I think I just grabbed it because we were moving tables. And I literally just look, I have 5,000 notifications, like, what could possibly be going on? And then some of them were like, actually like on top, where they're like saying what it is, not just like the text that I was getting about it. The scream I screamed.
I feel like it's like, it hasn't really hit me yet. Like, it's weird because it's hit me in the way that, like, just, it's a completely new world. Like, today is a new day and it feels so good. And things have been so busy, but they were like grim and busy, and you're just fucking like chugging through mud trying to get through every day. Yeah. And now it's like so busy, but like energizing and exciting and inspiring. So that definitely is felt. But just like the magnitude of the situation, of like the historic moment, I feel like it hasn't fully sunk in.
No.
So it's crazy. It's wild.
However, I do remember what hope feels like. Like, I literally is like having that emotion, and I was like, what is this? Can't quite identify with it.
Where has
what
she
is this?
been?
Like, so much excitement. Like, I honestly, every time I watch a Kamala clip at this point, I mean, kind of always because, but like, seriously, any of the new ones, the old ones, I'm like, beyond words. I'm so excited.
And I want to talk about that because I feel as though, there's always just been this annoying narrative around Kamala of like, nobody knows what she's done. Nobody likes her. Nobody can point to why. And it's just like, when you don't see her, like, sure, you can probably come up with all these internally misogynistic and racist feelings about her that you can't really like point to why you don't like her, which, like, if you are one of those, take a step back. And if you can't name off legitimate reasons why you don't like her, it's like red flag number one to like start critically thinking and be like, let me think deeper of why I feel this way. And second, like, if you then go do some research, which also, if you don't like someone or something, you should be able to rattle off reasons immediately why you don't like them. If you need to go do the research and find out why you don't like someone and you're struggling to find those answers, then again, look deeper. But the thing is she just hasn't been seen. She hasn't been put out there. And if you go watch her speech today, which I haven't yet, but I hear is amazing, her speech to campaign headquarters and just really any speech that she's done as vice president and prior, she is extremely articulate. She's so smart. She's glowing. She's gorgeous. She's all of the things. And to be honest, like I can't find anything that I blatantly don't like about her. But at the same time, there's no perfect candidate. There's no perfect person. And I'm sure there are things that you can pinpoint to that maybe aren't great, but we're not looking for our Valentine. Remember? We're looking for
it's not February,
someone.
People.
Exactly.
And even if it were, like that's just not the vibe. That's not the mentality. It's not it. And quite honestly, I think everyone has hopped on, at least in like the creator train, of like talking about what she'd actually done, what her vibe is, trying to dismiss these narratives. I think it's just so visible, and also the insane campaign fundraising that we had. I mean, she broke records, literally 24-hour record. I genuinely was like happy crying. I was like, this is so fucking cool.
Mm-hmm.
This is actually happening. And
that is a really legitimate stat and metric that like can just really show you like what this energy is and like put it in a bottle and be like, yeah, it's not just like anecdotal. It's not just what your algorithm's feeding you. Like, this is fucking real. This is real energy. And I'm so excited to see how it continues to play out.
Yeah.
For the days and weeks coming.
And I have to say, not to like, obviously algorithms will algorithm, but like ours, it's like even like so many people that like aren't traditionally like political on TikTok necessarily that are all about this fucking coconut trend, and they're jumping on and they're like, oh my God, Kamala is Brat. Like, it shows me too, where it's like, okay, no, people are amped outside of our little bubble of politics. Like, the energy is like very contagious, and it really is like because so much bigger than like how we
online narratives, online chatter is so fucking real. And like we talked about this so much in 2022 because like the red wave, like CNN, everyone red wave in the midterms, and we were like, we're online and we can see and feel the energy of young people and women and everyone who is pissed that our rights got taken away and are going to show out to vote. Like, that online world is real and that energy is real. And I think that's just so important because in cultural trends like this, even if they're silly, like the coconut tree or Brat Summer or whatever, those trends are real. Those are real cultural moments. It gives people this like permission structure to start to tap into politics and be like, oh, like, why is Kamala Harris going viral? Let me see. Oh, she's our new candidate. And then she becomes this like cool trend and fad that then they maybe are like, oh, maybe I'm a part of the K-Hive. Let me go see what her policies are. Like it's just so important that like people recognize how impactful these movements, cultural movements and trends are, no matter how like silly and funny they can be. It's really exciting to see like she's truly like a mainstream candidate. She's it. She's our girlie.
No, totally. And a few other things on that. One, to that point, first of all, I like love sort of the term like permission structure, because I think that's like what we try and do too, and like what we create. Like, it's so much that it's like the mixture of like lifestyle and like trends and things that maybe you would think would connect with like the world of politics, and then like putting it like on a plate for you to be like, hey, like I can like hop into that and actually digest that and understand it. Exactly.
Rebranding politics.
Exactly. Like rebranding politics, just doing our shots. But I did look yesterday. I remember, hold on, actually, let me just re-say this a little bit clearer. Previously, the Biden-Harris TikTok campaign account had about 550,000 followers. And then yesterday evening, I'll have to check what it is now. I looked and it was over 800,000. So they gained in literally 24, maybe 36 hours, like over 300,000 people, which to me also feels like 300,000 people that were tuned out of politics, that were like, exhausted, and now they're like, excuse me, let me drive my car to the parking lot and set up shop because we got this. And I feel like we can do this. Like, that's what I feel like very, very distinctly. Like, I'm sorry. Like, we're running against wackadoodle crazy pants, and we have prosecutor queen, absolutely slay the house down with boots, and hilarious. When I tell you, I have watched the clip of her and her sister doing have you seen the general skit? It's not even a skit, it's just like their conversation. Oh my God, it's so cute. But it was just like, she's just such a real fucking person, and people like don't see that. And I'm just so glad, honestly, with like the coconut trend and all of that. Like, that came out of, ironically enough, Republicans trying to clip that forever ago and like make a whole Mitri Goss. And meanwhile, she's fucking relatable queen. The Venn diagrams, I'm like, and honestly, I do love a Venn diagram.
Yeah. To be honest, like the coconut tree quote, I think I want to get it tattooed. Like it truly is going to be the North Star of my entire life and like my life's journey. But no, I mean, it's crazy. And yeah, the Kamala HQ, like I'm just so excited to see how that continues to grow and what they do with it. That feminine phenomenon, like the Chapel Ronan of it all, like they're doing it all. And I think that video has like over 20 million views, which is fucking crazy and so cool. But yeah, I think again, back to the permission structure, it does that for so many things. Like it does it for obviously like voters and non-political people to tap in and be like, what's going on? I want to be a part of this. It also does it for like influencers who want to use their platforms, celebrities who have been like scared to use their platform for this election. Like it's just exciting to see what's going to come from this and how we can keep this momentum moving, because I think the like cultural piece of it is so important. And we didn't have that with Joe Biden, of like being able to kind of like make him cool, make him mainstream, make him exciting to people on beyond just a policy level. So I just think that's so important, and Kamala is such a great vehicle to like get people engaged who aren't typically, which is what we need this year. So
totally. And I'm so glad like
it's so exciting.
Listen, I mean, obviously the powers that be.
Let's talk about Joe Biden.
Because you know what? Like God bless him too, right? Like
no, truly. Let's talk about
I was listening
I'm seriously so grateful for him.
No, I was listening. So, you know, I love
and it's bittersweet.
It is. But I love the Today Show, specifically Hoda and Jenna Bush, whatever, or Jenna Bush Hager, whatever. I can't get names straight. And she was talking about how she saw like a tweet that like Naomi Biden had put out there and just being like, I'm so proud of my pop, like that kind of context. And it was like, her point was remembering that like these people are human too. Like how hard it has to be of like someone that's like this accomplished and done all these things and not really properly gotten even some of the credit for it. And he's like, you know, actually passing that torch. Like that also too is going to have such a ripple effect across the political spectrum in the coming years of that actual ability to be like, no, we have to pass this torch. Like him doing that to me, I feel like has like, again, it's another permission structure, right? Like it came from the top. So it's like, okay, we've done it. So why can't we do it again? You know what I'm saying?
For
like,
sure. That's so true.
Yeah. But
I love the precedent that it set for our party and for just like, because it's not just on the presidential level. Obviously, we have this issue with age in the Senate and in the House. And so I'm excited to see that precedent be set of like, we can do better. Like we can pass the torch and we can like keep momentum building and get more people engaged, more people involved, because people want to see their representatives look like them. And I think that's just such an important piece. And yeah, I mean, I just like career crowning act of statesmanship from Joe Biden. And I know it took a while and some convincing, which it should have. It's a huge fucking decision. And honestly, like I'm not mad at him for like taking the time to really weigh out like the pros and cons of it all, to hear from people, not just big donors, not just Democratic Party leaders, but like people. And like when we saw that validated with like the grassroots donations that Kamala then got, it's like, I hope that feels good for him to like know that he listened, he did this, and like he did this, he created this new energy that like everyone needed, this hope that everyone needed. And I hope ultimately a win in November.
Well, two things to that point. One, at like campaign headquarters, she was doing a speech and Joe Biden was on it. And I think Doug had introduced her and like Joe was on the phone and he was like, love you, so kid. I was literally like bawling. I was like, this is so cute, but this is such the right message. Yeah. And like the role model element of it, I was like, this is.
And he's going to be there on the campaign trail with her.
For sure.
And which is so crucial. And I also like finishing out his term, continuing to like focus on the job, I think is going to be great. And yeah, I think just like overwhelming positives. Obviously, this is like uncharted territory. So like people being anxious about what it means and what could happen. It's fair, but it's also just like we can't be scared to do innovative, different shit. And that's what has been so frustrating with the party forever. for me, and I know for both of us, is just like the status quo and how they're so afraid to innovate and do anything different. And this is like such a huge step to doing that. We've been in unprecedented times. So
it's like, let's do unprecedented in an innovative way, like not like
we
a
got
shit way.
Solutions.
And I honestly, the thing that made me more anxious, especially now having the two options to compare, two paths in a sense, like Biden on the ticket was making me incredibly nervous and incredibly anxious. Kamala at the top of the ticket and just the response. I'm going to sleep like a fucking baby and I'm amped. Okay?
Yeah. And again, like back to doing the work.
Hours.
Yeah, back to doing the work. It makes it exciting. Like, this is how it should be. Presidential elections should be exciting. It's like a new page we're turning. And we just haven't had that this cycle. And I'm excited that we do now.
I was looking, so Rachel Gianfranza is a reporter that focuses on like Gen Z and politics. And she had been doing some polling and stuff on her story. One of the reactions apparently she was getting from like some of the conversations was that Gen Z, especially younger Gen Z, feels like this is their Obama moment, like this moment, this momentum. And I was like, that's so interesting because like even too, I'm trying to think like how old were we Obama's first term?
It was 2008.
So middle school.
He was running 2007. So I was.
Were you elementary?
I was 11. I was probably like 5th grade, 6th grade.
Yeah. Oh my God. So we were really babies. So like we kind of missed that moment too.
For sure.
So like I feel like I know what that means of like the feeling of the Obama momentum, but I still think we were like a little bit cusp young to like really grasp like what the potential of that is and could be.
Yeah, I never got to vote for Obama even in the second term. So
I'm trying to think what would have been.
Mine was like my entry into like voting and being a voter was the midterms before Obama left office. And then the presidential was like my first presidential was Trump Hillary, which is just like the start of some daunting years and like how also Gen Z has experienced this like Trump era. And so, yeah, it's really hopefully an inspiring time for people to be more excited about a candidate than they ever have been. So it's good. It's good shit.
It is good shit. I'm so fucking excited. And then the other thing I'm excited for and so curious is like essentially the Veep stakes, right? Like who is going to be the pick? And obviously we've had like certain people that we've been flagging, thinking about like if this were to happen, like who would that be? And you know who I think is like such the like one I hadn't thought of till maybe about 2 weeks ago and now has come out swinging in terms of amazing press moments and interviews.
Cher?
Yep.
I saw him last night on CNN on my flight home. And he did good.
Oh, so you had TVs on your flight?
You didn't?
No.
I didn't have TVs. I had to watch it on my phone, like streaming Wi-Fi bullshit.
Okay, fine.
But yeah, I mean, it's so funny too. Like the CNN had like their graphic of all of the potential VP picks, and it's just like white man. There's literally not one demo that is not that, which is fine. That's like kind of as expected. It's like, let's balance it out just because we don't know where America's at. So yeah, I mean, it'll definitely be interesting. Gotta like stick with a governor or something or a cabinet member because we can't lose a Senate seat or even a House seat. So Midwestern white governor, it is.
Because also asterisk note, because a lot of people have been talking about Newsom, constitutionally can't happen. So besides that, I don't think Newsom would be down for a VP role.
We also like, just can't
have two California.
They'll just shit on California, which is
it's a whole thing.
My trigger.
Oh, so I shouldn't complain about California. No.
LA. You can complain about LA all you want. I don't like
fine.
LA.
I had the funniest experience with this probably like whatever. We were walking in WeHo and it was like me, one of my girlfriends, one of my guy friends, and these like two like hooligans literally like I think the person that reacted was the LA person and my friend and I just like New York people just didn't even react. Literally this guy just stood in front of us and was like, get me your phones or I'll kill you. And we just like kept walking by him like totally unfazed. Meanwhile, like LA guy was like I was like, this is funny. But overall, California, we stand, we love, and there's some very interesting policy. And you know what? You know who else is from California, or actually isn't from California, but is running in California because he lives there, is Will Rollins, who we had on the show, who is running literally neck and neck with a incumbent Republican that's been in office longer than both Maddie and I have been alive. Yeah. So just think about that. Go listen to that episode, share it with somebody in Southern California that's a voter, or just like someone else that maybe knows someone, like get the group chats rocking and rolling, because obviously we're talking top of the ticket, but there's other things going on. Very important. And circling back to the Veep stakes of all the things, I do think like this year would be such a good, even-keeled pick. But I just love PDB. And I know that would be probably unlikely. And
He
I also
doesn't
love
like
Shapiro.
present gay though, as much, so it's like it could work.
Yeah. No, it's true. But I honestly, like, fuck it. There was this interview that Kamala did, and aka this clip that came out, and of just like being like, always people told me like I was too early for something, too young, too whatever, and you say, fuck it, let's do it. And I like kind of also like,
yeah,
you've got a fucking point.
I know. I mean, same with
So
like,
I don't know.
when people really want Gretchen to be a VP, it's like, but they're like, no, 2 women. But it's like, how long are we going to say that for? Like, we're past due to have a woman president, so we might as well go balls to the wall.
The way that would be the best run fucking presidency of all time.
Can we also just think about how iconic that would be in the moment in history we are at, with just like men taking away our rights and all over the place, and just being like, actually, no, sir.
Literally.
We're going to elect 2 women who want women to have basic health care and bodily autonomy. So I would just love that. But, I'm open. I'm open for a VP. I feel like regardless, they're going to make a good decision. And I'm just excited about Kamala, honestly. And I think a lot of people are. And it's just, I'm proud to be an American, or at least I know I'm free.
USA.
And Kamala Harris is elected.
Which she will be in November. So text every single fucking person you know. And I think this is the thing I've been trying to do with my friends, because I know like they have just their own worries, anxieties. And I think it's just so built up of all of these like crazy years too, is making sure like they know like this shit's possible. Like we're looking at the numbers, we're looking at the math, we're looking at the conversations happening, we're looking at all these different dynamics that are so clear. Like don't be the person that's like, we can't have like the Debbie Downer that then brings it all down. Like you could really be that person, like in your own friend group, that's the messenger of that. Of like, I don't think it'll happen. And then meanwhile, 3 of your friends then don't show up to vote because they feel like, Jessica said, because of course it's a Jessica, no offense if we have any Jessica listeners, like, oh, it can't be done. Like, let's like not focus on that it can't, and let's just fucking do it. You know what I mean? So get out of our own way. Like
totally.
Text a friend, text a family member.
I've had this hot take where I've been saying a lot that like, I think we have the easiest opponent of literally all time, and that like anyone could beat him, Samantha and I included. And we unfortunately put someone up who I thought would be the person who could lose to him, Joe Biden, unfortunately. Love you, but like, sorry.
Amen.
But we've actually not only changed paths and like just putting anyone else better up there, but we put up someone who is one of the best people we could have actually put up there. So we absolutely can win. It's very hopeful. It's very positive right now. Again, we have to see after the Kamala honeymoon stage, like what happens and where people land. But I'm optimistic. And also in your friend group, like, don't be the person that's like, I don't really like her. Like, seriously, I'm so fucking over people saying that. It's such horse shit. And again, just look deeper. Look deeper and think, wait, why don't I like her?
And you know what? I think like that's important to do regardless, like whether it's her or somebody else. Like anytime you don't like someone, you're allowed to not like someone for valid reasons, right? But like genuinely like take that like second to like really like check in with
yourself. And do it on the opposite. Why do you like her?
Nope. Right? But like I think that's like an important just like critical thinking thing, and also like knowing yourself. And if there is a fault within yourself, that is okay. But like know it, learn it, and then work to fix it.
Yeah. And start like watching, if you're not sure, and maybe even in a place where you're like, I don't know if she's the best person, I don't know if she can win, just start watching her. Watch her speeches. Tune in and tap in. Don't like just say that and then don't expose yourself to her, to actually let her show you, let her earn it, let her show you. And I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. She's great.
C-SPAN has been doing a lot of coverage of her on TikTok, like in terms of like her speeches. So like even if you're like, okay, I just want to like kind of, as much as we love the noise, because again, it's changing like how we speak about things. If you really just want to like hear like from what she's saying, like go there, listen to the clips, listen to the speeches. A lot of times they're like live streamed, YouTube, all of the things. So like there are ways to do it. I also did promise on her story the other day that I would do a essentially debrief of her book that I read, the later book of hers, which was just phenomenal. I highly recommend. However, that book is several states away from me right now.
Well, I would say let's get into this episode, but that's actually our episode today. We do not have an interview this week. We will next week, but we just wanted to come on and make sure we debriefed.
Yeah.
The craziest fucking thing maybe to ever happen in an election cycle.
You guys can blame my bad flight schedule of like the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, totally. Blame Samantha.
Sorry. I have one more thing, and that is just with everything, and I know we already hinted at this with Will Rollins' episode, but now we're excited, we're amped. There's other candidates on the ballot that we also need to make sure we're giving attention to and eyes to, because it's all connected. Like us giving attention to an amazing congressional candidate or state, like that has the top of the ticket and vice versa. And it's just important to know about these people, share their races, make sure people are turning up for all of the above. So go check our library. We have a bunch of them. Can I recommend Colin Allred? Like, let's get Ted Cruz out of a job. Like, see you later. I think so. Think about, some of those options. Let us know too, if there is a candidate out there, Democrat, you're like, we would love to get the tea. We would love to hear from them. Let us know. Let us know.
Let us know.
Yeah. And we've got some good ones coming up. So
have a lovely week. Relish in this moment. And we'll talk to you next week.
Woo.
Toodles.
Toodles.